last night.
Oh, thank you.
You were very welcome.
All right, we're recording. Okay, so here we are. It is what is that?
14? 15?
13. Week 13 of Threads of Wisdom. And again, here's our intro. It's just, I mean, I know you know this, but if people watch back.
Hey, by the end, I'll be able to say it for you.
Yeah, I know you could actually be our spokesperson. So we're Children of the Crossroads. I'm Lola.
Silenus.
And we put on this Threads of Wisdom every week. The Threads of Wisdom was created by the Golden Thread Grove in Idaho. It is a teaching tool for your year-in-a-day pagan basics. Each week that you attend, you will receive an image of the topic we discussed. Golden Thread Grove has requested that these images not be distributed to anyone that has not attended or participated in a discussion on a particular topic. And then at the end, you will have 52 cards that you can use as a divination tool.
Your Wicked decks.
Your Wicked decks.
Wicked deck.
Wicked decks. So our topic today is fire. So let's go ahead and I'm going to share the image.
This thread is on fire.
Oh, honey. Okay. So there's the image. So take a look at that and just tell me what you see, what feelings you get from that image.
Well, first off, I see that there are exactly 4 flames and exactly 4 logs.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh.
So I'm wondering if that's a representation of all the elements, minus spirit, obviously. But yeah.
That's a good observation. I wouldn't have even noticed that. When I first glanced at this, I didn't even see flames and logs. I saw, I was trying to figure out what the hell is that, but it's flames and logs.
3
Well,
joints.
they're awfully fluffy flames, to be fair.
Yeah, well, the logs look like those Swiss rolls that you
Cinnamon
get.
rolls.
You know what
Yeah.
the hostess
Yeah, ho-hos.
Yeah.
ho-hos or
Or
that's
those
what-
big old ice cream cake rolls.
Yeah.
Yes. So now I'm hungry.
See,
Right?
and I see campfire compared to the me thinking the element fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I get kind of the same thing. It's like a campfire, but when I think of a campfire, I think of when you're out there camping, it provides warmth, it provides cooking your food, and it also provides a place to gather around and
it provides a circle.
the circle and fires are very, very well are known for dancing around the fire, celebrating around the fire. It's kind of that central
Yep. It's a focal point.
Focal point, yeah.
Yeah. We went out to my sister's this weekend, and all of us gathered, and we had a little bonfire. And it does. It brings you together. It makes you feel like you're all hanging out together, and it gives you a place to be, but with no agenda sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
And so-
in ancient times, that was where community was happened, was around the fire.
Yep.
Exactly. Stay warm and communicate.
Yeah, it's kind of like the kitchen, how everyone always gathers in the kitchen when you have get-togethers. And the kitchen is representative of these things too. Comfort, food, warmth. So community. So yeah, it's kind of similar in that way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Stop sharing. There we go. All right. I sound like Linda on Bob's Burgers. All right.
I don't think I've ever watched that, but I know what it is.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Awesome. She's my favorite. Bob. All right. So fire, what do you think of when you hear fire? When you hear the word fire, and what do you think? What comes to mind?
Warmth, passion, anger.
Yeah. Yep.
For me, my most associated fire thing is probably passion and anger.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes I don't have a lot of fire. But then it was interesting because I was looking at my astrology chart, and I have a Sagittarius rising sign, and I was like, oh, I guess I do have fire.
But that can mean you're really goal orientated.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that you've got Sagittarius rising, because I see you as someone who is seeking knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Always seeking, because that's what how I associate Sagittarius, is they're always seeking.
What's the hunter?
Knowledge, the hunting for the knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say that that's a very primary drive for me. And it has been almost my whole life. Even when I was, in the crazy part of my life.
Yeah.
That was something that I was good at. I could research something. I mean, that's why I got kind of the trouble I got in, because, I'm good enough to figure out how to do it.
Curiosity, curiosity sometimes,
Killed the cat.
Kills the cat.
Yeah.
How about you when you hear fire?
I think of warmth. I think of food when I think of fire, because I think of cooking. Oh yeah, of course I do. But I think of when you're sitting around, whether you're cooking in the oven or the providing of heat, or when you're roasting marshmallows around a fire, things of that nature. I also think, like you said, passion is a big one, and a motivator.
Yeah, I think of motivation, willpower, passion. I always think of the lighting the flame under your ass to get you moving. That's the first thing I think of, is let's light a fire under her, get her going. That motivation. I don't have a lot of. Is it fire?
Yeah, you have like one thing of fire.
I think I have one thing of fire in my chart. Yeah. I have mostly water and earth, so I'm muddy.
She's stable but emotional.
Yes, there's stability but lots of emotion behind that, which just makes perfect sense. I think my fire is my rising. It's Leo.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's my only fire, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So it says here: structure, foundation, passion, courage, physical intensity, drama, energy.
Yeah. The energy is a big one, because fire produces heat, which produces energy.
Right.
That's how we get coal factories, and all the different forms of energy are typically through some kind of fire source.
Mm-hmm. Right. One could even argue that nuclear is a fire source.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nuclear.
So,
what part of fire is easy for you, and what part of fire is difficult?
Passion is the easy part. Anger is the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
See, mine is probably the opposite, because I don't get angry too often. I'm a very even-keeled person, but it's hard for me to sometimes get passionate about things, because I'm just so I'm just gonna go with the flow, ho hum.
Yeah.
I will just manage. But when I do get, and something does strike that in me, then it's hard for me to get it. Yeah.
Right. No, I feel the same way. I don't get angry very easy, but when I do, I have a hard time managing it and letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
See, I was just talking about this the other day with my parents and my brother and my sister. Is that I have a really long fuse. I can take a lot.
Yeah.
But once I reach the end of my fuse, I literally burn bridges. I'm done. I'm done with you. I blow up. I see red. I destroy anything or any chance of us ever being friends or in a relationship again. And it's not pretty. I have to work on that, because I have burned so many bridges. But at the same time, I do give chance after chance after chance after chance. And then when it's just too many times, it's like, I feel like WandaVision, just the Scarlet Witch.
interesting because I'm the opposite way. Once you burn a bridge with me, it's really hard for me, and I only take 1 or 2 times of you pissing me off and burning my bridge before I'm done with you, and I will just completely wipe my hands of the
So
situation.
you have a shorter fuse than I do.
Well, in that
My
sense,
husband,
it takes a
my
lot more to
husband
be
like
upset.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't have a
He
short fuse.
doesn't have a relationship with his family to the point that like he hasn't talked to them in years because he's just done with them. And
Yeah.
that to me is so weird because I will forgive my family almost anything.
Well, what I'm saying is when I reach the end of my fuse, I don't forgive anymore. I'm saying during the long fuse,
Yeah.
I forgive, but then if then I reach my boiling point, and then it's done. I have written you off. You've seen me do
Yeah.
that. It's just, it's gone.
Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, I'm done with you.
Yeah. Mine is burn me twice. Okay, burn me a third time. Maybe they're going through something bad. Burn me for, I kind of go, and then after a while, then it's like, fuck you, and I'm just done.
Right?
But that's because my Aries, in my planet Aries, the sign that's in the planet Aries is Aries.
Her fighter.
So that's fire, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, so I do have some fire. Yeah. Okay, I have a couple fires. So yeah, the sign that's known for being having a bad temper is in the planet that is known for having a bad temper.
Right.
So as much as can be very easygoing and you don't want to get me to that end of that fuse because it's very ugly and it's not pretty at all. Something else about fire that I don't, I kind of don't see here is a transformation. Fire transforms, like the phoenix, or you burn things off. I don't see that here, and I often, there it is. There we go. It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's a big one. I think
the shedding
of our old selves and being reborn like a phoenix. I think that's important for us to remember that it is transformation. So, yeah. Passion seems to be the popular one. And passion isn't just sexual passion. No. Because I'm a very passionate person. I'm very passionate about the people I love. I'm passionate about food. I'm passionate about music. When so I do have that passion, like, oh, I love this and I love you and but I think very passionate people also can be very angry people. Yeah. I think they go actually kind of hand in hand, because you were saying passion and anger. Well, that's kind of what's coming up with me too, is passion and anger.
Well, it creates an imbalance for a lot of people that they don't know how to regulate.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find that, Ariel, that because you are a passionate person that the anger is an issue?
It is. But I'm really good at letting it be an internal issue rather than an external issue. So the anger causes me way more damage internally than it ever causes in my life externally. Like, I can be mad at you and you wouldn't even fucking know.
Yeah. But because
I'm holding it.
Yeah. So you fester. You like that flame, that anger just is like, and that can make you sick.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I'm very expressive. I call it the Latina passion because I'm half Mexican.
Yeah.
I'm very I've got that
Latino heat.
That Latina heat.
There's a phrase for it.
It's there. Yeah, there's a reason why we're very expressive. We're very when we're happy, we're really happy. When we're mad, we're really mad. But then what balances me out is I'm also part Norwegian and German from my dad's side. And that's a little more colder, a little more.
Well, would you almost say that there's a mania with people that have a lot of fire in their life because they're all the way up, or?
I would think so. If you have a lot of fire in your chart, maybe that you need to sometimes get that balance of other things. I mean, I know fire signs that are very passionate, and I mean, if you think of fire signs, Leo,
Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius.
Aries and Sagittarius, right? Those
Yeah,
are the
yeah. So the fire, the hunter, and the pride.
yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of the ones that I know. There's sometimes anger issues, and this isn't being mean about anyone. It's just if you have a lot of fire in you,
Yeah.
like I said, it can be really good because it can be motivational. It can be very expressive, artistic, but
Right.
then at the same time, it can be like you hold grudges.
My stepdad, prime example, Leo. And when he's
We all
good,
have
he's
parents.
great. And when
Yeah.
he's mad, you walk on eggshells because any motherfucking thing can set him off.
Yep.
You can
Yeah.
look at him wrong.
Yep. Both of her parents are Leos. My mom is a Leo.
Yeah. Yep. I grew up with Leo parents. His
Leos
mom's
are
a
hard to
Leo.
please. They're hard to please, and you never feel like you're enough.
Oh my God, yes. And
Yep.
it's funny because my rising sign is Leo, but I think that is the outgoing,
Yeah.
the performer, because Leos, they like to be center
They
of
like to jump
attention,
shade.
A lot of vanity.
vanity, the spotlight. Yeah, I don't deny it. I mean, that would be stupid for me to say, "Oh, I'm very quiet and, humble."
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm
No,
not.
knowing ourselves is the most important part of the journey, man. And if you can't admit to the shit that you pull, well, sucks to be
Tony
you.
said-
You'll keep getting that lesson until you get it.
I annoy myself a lot.
You're not alone.
I
We all
figured.
annoy
Oh, she
ourselves.
knows
I
you
think.
too?
Oh, I annoy you too. That's not just kidding.
No, no.
No, I know.
We know the way we know what you're saying, but you go, oh, you too.
Yeah.
So like, oh, you.
He's the one that's. Oh, she annoys you too. It's like,
I annoy myself too because I'm so sparkly thing here, sparkly thing there, and that fucking annoys me. But
Gemini.
at the same time, it's part of what makes me cool because I got like 9 million interests all at once.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, and that is so Gemini. That is so Gemini.
Well, she's a cusp baby though, because she's on the 20th. That
Oh
week
yeah,
cusp,
7 hours,
Cancer.
from the cusp. So I always tell people I got 3 personalities instead of 2 because Gemini gets 2, Cancer gets 1.
Yeah, you Geminis are split personality.
Yep.
Very.
Yes.
I call them 96%, 4%. 96% awesome, 4% don't want to deal with me. Because when you bring that out, I'm one of the hardest, most difficult people because I turn off the filter and I let the emotion come through.
I've married I have married a true Gemini because he is very laid back and easygoing and just kind of like, sometimes it's a little too flighty for me because I'm like, I need structure, I need, and he's like up here but when you piss him off.
When the evil twin comes out, I am not a nice person. And I know it. And
right? We got a silver tongue that can cut you like a knife.
Well, and it's a telltale sign as, we're married. We're going to have arguments,
Of course.
part of being married. So when I walk away, that's the warning cue of it's time to stop right now because now you poke anymore, the asshole's going to come out and I'm not going to have a filter and I'm going to say things just to hurt even if I don't mean them because I'm at that time where I'm ready.
We've been together.
When I stop talking, that's when you
yes.
stop talking too.
We've been together long enough where now I know when he's that angry and he walks away, I don't follow him like I used to because then I'm that angry and I'm that Aries. I want resolution, right. and I want to fucking fight. Like I hate to admit it, but I like a good battle of words. It's that Aries temper.
I take off my logic and my compassion, and I'm just once that comes out, it's like, okay, this is your chance to stop right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why my husband doesn't like to have conversations with me about God, politics, philosophy, anything that could become heated. He doesn't want to have a conversation because he says I debate, and then I'll jump sides, and I'm like, well, I can see the other side.
Yeah.
That's a Gemini thing.
It's very Gemini.
I do the same stuff, and I know a lot of Geminis that do that.
Yeah.
That we can see both sides of an argument, and we're willing to make both sides because we want to argue.
Yeah.
Right? And it confuses people because they're like, well, where do you stand? I'm like, in the middle. Duh.
Yep. So how is your guys' motivation Do you think you need more of that fire lit under your ass to get going?
It matters what it is.
Yep. If it's physical, I need a big ass fucking fire. If it's mental, I don't need a fire at all.
Yeah.
If I'm interested in it, no motivation necessary. If I'm not interested in it, forget about getting me to do it. You're gonna have to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
See,
Right?
as I've gotten older,
exercise is my biggest.
Oh.
And it's like I enjoy it when I do it, but getting me to do it.
Yeah, exercise is one thing that I'm not. The movement, I'm very. That's where my Capricorn Earth comes in. I'm very sludge, like in the sludge, kind of like stuck. But I like as I get older and I'm getting more responsibilities in the last, I'd say 5 years, with more of the coven stuff and with the church, and I am finding it, because a lot of this I do a lot, online, and I plan a lot, and I do all this stuff.
You do a lot of community work.
And sometimes I lose the motivation because I'm just tired. I'm just overwhelmed or tired. So I have to, what motivates me is responsibility. Like, I'm responsible. This is a responsibility that I have, and I'm responsible for providing something to other people. Sure. So I don't want to let anyone down. So that is what motivates me to keep doing it, because sometimes I don't feel like it. I'm just like, I'm done. And
there's something that we all need to be reminded about, is the balance. Sometimes we get too far into our church work, and we forget about our personal life or our personal entertainment. And yes, you gain stuff from doing all this work, but sometimes it's just okay to just go have fun and not be responsible for a little while, and we got to remember to do that.
I was just having that epiphany earlier today. Funny that you bring that up, because I'm like, I've kind of been ignoring my man's physical needs, and I really need to take care of that. But it's festival, and I want to be a part of it, but I got to make it fit in. And I'm like, fuck, how do I balance this?
It's hard, and
We'll wait till after Daddy Shrine tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. It's hard because, just this week with everything that's been going on with the festival and preparing for it, and I took yesterday off and kind of a little bit of today off of worrying about festival, worrying about my lines, worrying about what I need to do, because it's just been nonstop and I need that break.
Well, she had the conversation with Hecate, says, me and you have been seeing a lot of each other. We need a break.
I said, we need to start seeing other people, Hecate. Because just for the next couple, just yesterday and today, because tomorrow and
for the next 4 days after that.
4 days, it's gonna be at least Friday and Saturday are gonna be.
I was thinking about this earlier too, and I wanted to ask you, and how do you know that it's her and not you? That to me is the part I struggle with, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask Lola about that shit, because she'll know.
Have you done much invocation?
I've never done it. I have no idea.
And until you experience it, you don't understand until you've experienced it, and it's the only way to describe it.
Yeah,
she's there. Deity is there, and it's like you have a co-pilot, but you're it's kind of a cohesion thing.
But it's not even just invocation, because it's just conversation. A lot of it is whatever deity you're working with, and with Hecate, she's that voice in my head that I try to ignore sometimes.
Sure.
That tells me what I need to do, what's for the best for me.
You don't hear it.
And I didn't want to hear it. She's that. Yeah. And I know it's her because she gets me to do it. And there's that fire too. She's fire.
She's a torchbearer.
She's the torchbearer. She does light up what needs to be done, and I know it's not just me doing it. I know it's her lighting that fire, because I actually do it even when I don't want to do it. Like a perfect example, I had to have a conversation with someone that's been, I was holding on to stuff for a couple years with this person, and I needed to have this conversation, and I kept putting it off, and I was going to put it off even longer. And next thing I know, Hecate she's like, it's not my voice. I can hear her.
It's mom.
It's like mom's voice saying, pick up the phone and do it now. And I didn't even have a choice. I was picking the phone up and dialing. What? And by the time the phone was ringing, I realized, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, well, it's too late. Like,
that brings us to a good question. When you think of fire, which deities do you think? We didn't talk about this last week with air. And with,
I think we brought up
Brigid.
I thought we brought up her.
I don't remember us talking about anything about deities last week
and
associated. But fire, we can think of a lot of deities.
What deities?
Apollo.
Right, Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo.
Being the sun and everything.
Yep.
Hecate, being a torchbearer, where everyone thinks of her as, the underground deities, or they think Earth.
They think chthonic.
But she's actually the torchbearer, the light bringer.
She's all elements, to be honest. So there's that fire.
Bridget was right for the healing aspects, because fire is healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Who else?
A lot of
Ra. If you want Sekhmet, Ra.
Yeah, the Egyptian ones. Kali
for sure. Kali. What about you, Ariel? Do you think of any deities that you think when you associate fire?
Ra, Brigid, Apollo, and Hera. But I think that's based off of my interpretation of Clash with the Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's very unforgiving, and fire's an unforgiving thing. You light a flame and you could burn the whole forest down if you aren't careful. So
my patron deity, Hestia. Because
your patroness.
My patroness deity.
Because your patroness.
Yeah, my patroness. Yeah, my
just correcting him.
Oh, please do. You're correct. My patroness deity is Hestia, and she is the hearth.
She's keeper of the hearth, keeper of the
eternal flame.
The eternal flame. I think of a lot of destructive deities are
transformative though.
And then you just think of like Prometheus.
Yeah.
Who's the one? Is Prometheus of the volcano? Who's the volcano one?
Healy.
Yes, that one. Yes.
And then you have Helios.
Yep. Yeah.
I like him as a character in one of my books.
But yeah, and so I mean, that's a good conversation to have. Is if you work with fire, a lot of deities. There's a lot more we think fire deities out there.
I think if you continue with the school, you'll work with the sophomore year. You're going to work with chakras, elements, deities. It's real. It's a lot of work. It's really great though, but it's a lot of shadow work.
I'm taking the Dark Goddess class as my what do you call it? Elective
with Lilith Three Feathers. She's amazing.
Lilith is absolutely awesome. This lady. She's actually Dusty's mentor.
Yeah.
She's brought Dusty into the craft.
Yep.
Yesterday was the first time I've ever seen Dusty too. He played his flute. And I was like, oh, I can listen to that all day. For some reason,
Dusty's always playing his flute.
He's always playing with his flute. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue. What kind of tools represent in our craft the element of fire?
Wands.
Candles. Incense.
Incense is air.
But a lot of people think wands
is fire and air.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week, and then
it is. It's fire and air. It takes up both. We use incense with fire and air. I cleanse and purify the sacred space.
Wands, because it's our focal point.
Yep.
Yep.
Although I got that wrong on a stupid quiz, because wands are air.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the tarot.
Wands are fire usually in the tarot.
Maybe I got it wrong, but I don't know. There was a quiz where they asked what a wand.
The swords and wands can.
Swords and wands are interchangeable a lot of times. When I first learned tarot, I learned swords were fire and wands were air.
Yeah.
But as most tarot readers, it's switched.
Yeah.
And so it really just whatever feels right is
That's kind of what I go with as my all guiding thing, whatever's calling to me. So, for example, last night, I told you I use a certain set of crystals and I change them back and forth every night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last night, I was told that I should be using the moonstone and only the moonstone. And so that's what I did.
Yeah.
And that's your birthstone, so that makes sense.
Is it? I thought diamond was.
No, diamond's April. And
that's
June
right. That's right.
Is moonstone.
Alexandrite, pearl, and that one.
Yeah.
Yep. And I like a moonstone. I have a lot of moonstone pieces, different colors, because I really enjoy moonstone and always have.
Yep.
Yeah. It says here, planets.
Well, the
Mars.
Animals, zodiacs, times of the year, tarot, and sounds to me would be more air. Don't you think so?
I would think. That's interesting on sounds.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe, or asking, what do you associate? Which sounds maybe you associate with fire?
Crackling.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Whoosh.
You know, like when you see the flame go up, it goes whoosh.
I know.
know you.
How about what elementals? So you know how we call on, like last week air. I was like, I think of the Fae.
Yeah.
So what elementals do you associate with fire?
Genies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jinn or genies, and that's because of my reading. I read paranormal fantasy, and so yeah. Jinn, definitely fire in all of my books.
Yep.
In our coven, we use salamanders to represent fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
And dragons.
Yep. Fire dragons. We call upon the fire dragons, but we call in all.
We call it all dragons.
All dragons, but salamanders.
But when people think
south,
but people think dragon's breath, they think flame. They don't think of all naturally.
Yeah, but salamanders, reptiles, those kind of.
Phoenix.
Yes, the phoenix. Mm-hmm.
What are the fire sabbats?
That's a very good question. Imbolc.
Is Imbolc a fire?
I thought Imbolc was Earth and gestation.
I think
I could be wrong. I'm still brand new and learning.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I mean, no, there's no wrong answer.
No.
There's if you
Brigid is part of Imbolc.
What is?
Brigid?
Yeah, she's of the fire.
Yeah.
So it could be.
I guess in my mind, that's where I'm associating it from.
Absolutely, yeah. I've never really associated Imbolc with an element before, but I think of the earth.
Yeah, I think of the gestation.
The gestation, but it could be. They could be several things.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah,
it's not one.
Because she is.
Yeah, she is.
Bridget is the representation of Imbolc, and she's definitely
the Lightbringer
fire.
and all that.
It says here Beltane.
Yeah, Beltane, of course.
I was going to say, I think Beltane and is it maybe Midsummer as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, to me, Midsummer is when everybody gets out and has a big bonfire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are the things that...
The longest day, the sun's out longer than it ever is.
The heat.
Yep.
We had a Litha celebration a few years ago when it was... And then it was Cole's birthday, right? Wasn't it around that time?
No, it was mine. My birthday's the one that's on
yours is on Litha. What was his around?
His is right before...
Lammas.
Yeah, right before Lammas.
Anyway, those ones were, it was like
100
over 100 degrees.
End of July, early August.
Talk about fire. It was just like, oh my God, it was burning us.
That one's actually of the earth being the grain harvest. It's beer and bread festival.
Yeah, Lammas.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because in one of my tarot decks, Lammas represents the devil card, which
really?
I think of fire.
Yeah.
So again, it's...
Well, I'm sure we can find a correlation to just about any Sabbath.
Yeah.
Right?
Across the board.
So...
Right. I was thinking of Yule, too, because of the log.
Yeah, the Yule log
the
could
Yule log,
because you burn it all night long. And
the promise of light.
Yep.
That's to come. Yeah, I would think of that too, and all the lights.
Yep. And
Right, Christmas.
Samhain, you keep the light lit so that you can keep the ghosts and the spirits away.
Yeah, Samhain's very watery to me though.
It's a death initiation.
Death and initiation, and
you also have the light to keep the masking and all that concepts.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably relate all of them.
That might be a good future topic, not here, but on our other shows.
Which is excuse my yawning. I'm tired. So let's go ahead and uses for fire. We kind of talked about this before. I'd like to talk about it more because it's got some good things here. So some uses for fire: illumination and warmth, destruction,
Holly, like you were talking about,
energy, separation, purification, and transformation. How do you think the fire purifies?
Well, it burns away the layers.
Yeah.
It burns away germs. We use it in medical stuff all the time.
That's true. You see people that if you don't have anything to disinfect, if they're like out in the wilderness, they'll clean
Stick it in the fire.
They'll light a fire, or the flame. Yeah.
I do that with my needles that I use to poke myself. Yep.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to put purification here because when you're working with your tools, you can purify using any of the elements. Each of them have their own purification aspects. So
they do, because you can use purification in water.
The water purification, earth, air.
Air, yeah.
So that I just find it interesting they use it for fire when they haven't mentioned it elsewhere. When we literally have different rituals that are used for purification purposes with each element.
Yeah, when we purify the circle.
Yeah.
We use all four elements. Yep. We use fire and air.
Salt and water.
And salt and water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but sometimes people associate it with more so with one element than another. Sure. So I mean, and these are notes from many years of discussion. So somebody brought it up, purification, which is very true. I'm glad you're going to the mysteries, because there is something about purification and fire that when
I'm excited. I really feel like like I was saying, before, I'm just so happy that I found it. I felt like I got my letter for Hogwarts finally, I really did feel that way. That was like my first thought. I'm like, oh my God, I got a letter to go to Hogwarts. I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
Well, you're going to have an amazing experience. It's not going to be like anything you've ever done before. And what's cool about it is each and every time you get a different experience.
Yeah.
And different lessons and mysteries you experience.
Hopefully next year we'll be able to meet in person, because
I'm hoping to find my patron god during the festival.
Yeah, you might. Yeah.
Such a hard time with that. I know Hakate's my goddess, but I have no idea who my god is.
Yeah, well, we talked about that when we talked about the god, how some of us I don't have a patron god. I mean, the coven does, but I don't have one that I work with
personally.
Well, yeah, I mean, Dionysus is just...
Well, that's different. You don't work with him. You party with him.
You party with Dionysus, right?
You just kick it with him.
I've been kicking it with Dionysus for a long time.
It doesn't mean that you necessarily honor him or work directly with him.
Yeah, but he would be one that is the closest I've gotten to working with on a continuous level.
But like for me, Ariel, when my first mysteries, I had an experience with Poseidon.
Yeah.
And it is really what opened my eyes and put me on the path. And it's funny because I don't really work with Poseidon anymore. I respect him, but he doesn't speak to me the same way that
year. Did you dedicate to him that year?
I did not.
You didn't? No.
Nope. And then we went another year, and a friend of mine was the vessel for Poseidon and asked me to dedicate to him, and I said no.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to, and I didn't want to. And it was interesting because it was someone that I really enjoy, and it would have been appropriate, but it didn't speak to me.
Turns out though that
Yeah.
kind of glad it didn't.
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
What does it mean when you dedicate?
It means that you dedicate a year and a day
of your service
of your service and your workings to that God. So you can, when like a lot of people do that during this during the festival.
I did mine last year. I dedicated to Hestia.
Yeah. And I just rededicate myself every year to Hecate, which is interesting because now I'm her vessel.
Right.
So I think that's kind of I've already dedicated.
Yeah. That one's kind of implied because you've been in the vessel and you're going to be a vessel till next year again when that next person takes over.
I still, after this, I'm still considered her vessel until
the next person's named after.
The next person's named that
after
will be
Sickle.
the new vessel after Sickle.
After
so
Hecate Sickle, yeah.
Till October, I'm her vessel. But I dedicated to her a long time ago. But I did we dedicated our coven to her. And it's nothing like you don't get a certificate or whatever. You actually just say, I like to dedicate to you this year. You tell them.
You sign a mental contract with them.
Yeah.
And when you kind of like your primary for the year to work with and support what it is that they're about.
Yeah. And when you make that promise to dedicate to them, they hear you. The gods hear you, and so that's why when you decide to dedicate to one, you don't just get to go, I dedicate to you, and then like forget about it.
It's not a willy-nilly thing.
They will remind you.
You're held to account.
Not the vessels, but the actual deity.
The energy source.
Will somehow you'll start to see things like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be working with you, and it can be however you want. You can do research on ways to honor them. You can do your own personal rituals. You can do there's no right or wrong way. It's your way that you want to dedicate.
Well, I know for me, when I am not focusing on the home and the hearth, and I'm not doing all the things to make people in my home comfortable, I get reminded by Hestia.
Yeah.
And she kind of gives me a swift kick in the ass, says, hey, who are you forgetting? What are you forgetting? You made a promise to me. Why aren't you honoring it?
Yeah, they do that.
In different ways.
And Hecate is really, like, when you dedicate to a dark goddess, they're not as polite. They just...
Hestia is so warm and loving that she does it in a nice way, but she's stern.
Yeah, but Hecate, it's like she takes a 2x4 and just... Yeah, everything's good. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about fire. Illumination is a big one that I work with Hecate or Hecate, whatever you want to pronounce it. She does illuminate for me a lot. I forget that aspect of her sometimes because I'm always working. She's the goddess of so many different things.
Well, she always has a torch in her hand.
But her torches, and she guides us to the underworld. Right. She guides us at the crossroads. And she doesn't necessarily say, this is the way you have to go. She's there when you decide to go, where you've got to go. Because she's not going to tell you, take this way. She's going to say, whichever path you go, I will illuminate it for you. You may not like what you see on this path.
You may not have chosen the easy one. But
you may not have chosen it, but I'm here. And that's a big thing for illumination is you have to see what you got to see, and it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
Warmth, fire, the warmth, I love that. That's
security.
There's
a lot of security that comes with it because, if you're laying out there cold and shivering, you're not comfortable. When you're warm, you're able to snuggle in and relax and get the sleep or the relaxation that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Destruction, well, nothing destroys like fire. Ain't nothing that...
That's why we have to be so aware of our tempers and our destructiveness, because we all have it in ourselves.
Oh yeah.
To destroy ourselves and destroy those that we love.
Well, and unlike the other ones, it can be runaway. The other elements, when it has a earthquake, a hurricane, a tornado. It comes and it goes. Fire keeps going and going and going until it's put out.
Yeah.
It keeps building upon itself and building more energy, where the other ones, have a residual effect, but it doesn't a continual effect.
Agreed.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do our divination. So you are wanting a 1-card draw from Madame Zola.
Also
And you're
known
like-
as Lola.
You're like,
Lola.
Zalola.
Lola.
And you are like, Madame Zola, I need a 1-card draw to just give me a message of right now at this moment. And so she draws the fire card. What do you think that would mean?
Would mean my lighter's not working.
She's trying to light something too.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to light smoke and it's not lighting. I'm like, really right now?
That's really funny.
There we go. Finally. I would have to say, for me personally, because I feel like that's something I lack sometimes, that it's telling me that I need to work on the things I know that I need to work on and just fucking do it.
Mm-hmm. So motivation,
Yep.
light the fire under your ass.
Totally a Nike thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I don't think I need motivation as much right now because I have been doing a lot, but I think maybe enjoy the hearth a little more, maybe settle in for just some warmth and some, I don't know, just comfort is what's coming to me right now, as of right now in this moment.
See, I look at it, and it's for me, it's almost divinatory of look to the flames for the answer, and do a little fire scrying.
Candle magic.
Yep.
It's always good.
Yep. And
candle and mirrors, man. I tell you, that's my
yeah.
favorite.
Yep.
Yeah, you're definitely working with Hecate.
Absolutely.
Well, it's so funny because I've been so reluctant. I felt like, why am I being called here? Am I really in the right place, or is it circumstance? And I'm like, but then she keeps sending me messages, and I keep praying for one from the God, and she just sends me more, and I'm like, okay, lady, I get it. Calm down.
But you know what that means? It's just not time for you to work with the God yet.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not. They'll come to you when they come to you.
Don't force the issue.
I've been looking for a God for 6-7 years now, and not one has still not gone hello, and so I'm okay with that.
See, I think I know the one that she needs to work with, but I'm not going to tell her. I'm going to let her.
No, that would be a disservice to me, but I appreciate that you mentioned it.
Yeah. So there's the image. I want to make sure you can get it.
Oh, in the chat? I got to move my screen, because in my phone, I have to put the chat in its own screen.
Yeah, it does that. Do you want me to email it to you?
Oh, no, honey, I got it.
You got it?
I do this every week. Haven't missed one yet.
She's no pro with
They've
this.
got their own folder.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay, got it.
All right, and then of course, I'm gonna do the little spiel.
Of course.
Please type a message to continue. Oh, there. Never mind. So if we have helped facilitate a spiritual experience for you today, please consider donating to Children of the Crossroads ATC to help fund events like this. Your gifts of any amount are greatly appreciated, and donations may be tax deductible, as Children of the Crossroads ATC is a 501c3 nonprofit. You can make your donations to the PayPal or the Venmo, and it's in the chat. Is it in the chat?
It is in the chat.
It's in the chat now. There you go.
Yeehaw.
And so I'll go ahead and remove the image, since she's got that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ariel. This was fun, and I'm sure I will see you at the Mysteries. What house are you in? You're in Thebes,
I'm
right?
here. Yep.
I am too. Yay!
I know.
So,
I was like, was that divine providence or was it just random?
I think that's awesome. They do random, but I was really glad to see that you and I were in Thebes. I was like, yay! Now I may not.
When you posted, I was like, oh, good, somebody I know.
I may not be in there a whole lot.
Well, you've
right?
got a big role.
I got some serious. Yeah, I'm
She
gonna
got
be
some
like
things going on.
Yeah, but I'm really excited. I am. I hope I do my patroness goddess. I hope I honor her well, do her proud. I think I will.
I'm not
You'll
concerned.
do amazing. I have no doubt.
Yeah,
And
I think it's
there to come and visit you when you're invoked.
Oh yes, please do
Because
that.
I need to be there. She's got some stuff to tell me. I don't know what, but
I don't know either. I will when I'm invoked.
You guys will find out together.
We'll find out together.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Ariel. We look forward to seeing you throughout the weekend, and we
Sounds
hope you have
good.
wonderful mysteries.
Yes, have a awesome mysteries. I'm